Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning routine. It's February the 2nd. It is Friday, and it is episode number 275. All of those things all at one time, and here we are. So good to see you this morning. I hope your week has gone fantastic. It is Friday. Yes, you have made it yet to another Friday. The Friday before the Super Bowl. Before Super Bowl, what is this, Super Bowl 51? I think it's 51, right? So exciting weekend ahead, of course, for many who will be enjoying the game. I have chosen to spend my Super Bowl with, 100 and some whatever students running around being crazy and foolish and having a lot of fun. So I am really looking forward to Sunday. It's going to be a great day. Some snow on the forecast. Hopefully it holds off, but it's going to be a fun one. And sooner than you know it, the weekend will be over, and we'll be back here on Monday. So I hope you have big plans for this weekend. It's going to be a good one, and I hope the week is ending nicely for you. So I've got some great stuff ahead. I'm trying to think as I'm talking to you right now. I'm trying to think about yesterday and what I did yesterday, and honestly I don't remember. Oh, I remember yesterday. Yesterday, exciting day. I was actually, for the first time ever in my life, with over, how many? 300, 350, with over 300, about 325 podcast episodes that I have created and interviewed people and things like that. Yesterday was the first time ever that I was a guest on somebody else's podcast. Very exciting. It's not out yet. It will be out probably in about a month. When it comes out, I'll tell you where it is so you can hear it if you want to check it out. But it was very exciting. It was very cool to be a guest of somebody else's podcast because I'm so used to directing traffic and running the show. And it was neat to sit there and just let somebody else run the show and just, it was kind of cool. So that was a fun experience yesterday. I did get to do that. But on we go to some great information this morning for you. Of course, since it is the Super Bowl, I did have to cover some Super Bowl trivia, right? Some facts about this Super Bowl upcoming. So here's some information in regards to the chicken wing. Yes. So some facts. Super Bowl I was in 1967. This is Super Bowl 52, actually not 51, and that would be played this weekend. Super Bowl I was played between the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs in the year of 1967. 32.6 pounds of chicken were consumed per capita for the year of 1967, compared to this year of 91.9 pounds of chicken per capita in 2000 and estimated for this year. That's a 182% increase. 23 cents a pound is what it cost in 1967. Chicken right now is at $1.77 per pound. Comparison from Super Bowl I to Super Bowl II, or Super Bowl 52. Now, here's the interesting one. Are you ready? 31 billion chicken wings will be produced in the year 2018. 2 billion of them will be consumed on Super Bowl weekend. 2 billion. Yes, 2 billion wings will be consumed on this weekend that we are looking at right here on an average of 9.5 wings per fan. So that means that for the people who aren't eating wings at all, there are those who are eating twice as many, 3 times as many. But the average is 9.5 wings per fan watching the game. So pretty interesting facts right there on the old chicken wing. I would hate to be a chicken this time of year. That's for sure. So, but that's some facts for you. So on we go to some stories that I've got lined up for you today. Let's see, what do we got in the queue today? Oh, yes. Okay. Well, we've been hearing a lot about these TidePods. They've been in the news a lot, and it's this weirdest thing now that they're challenging, kids are challenging each other to eat these TidePods. Originally, when they came out, there was a big thing because kids were eating them on accident because they looked like little candy balls. Then they put warnings and warned everybody not to do it. And of course, what happens when you warn somebody not to do it? You get foolish people who decide that they will do it because it's a challenge. So the story, the idea, the interesting facts are what will actually happen to your body when you eat a Tide Pod. This comes out of BuzzFeed. If you've been on the internet in the past weeks, you've probably read that people are eating Tide Pods for fun. According to the American Association of Poison Control Centers, across the country, they've handled 39 cases of people intentionally ingesting laundry detergent in 2016, and 53 cases in 2017, and 39 cases in the first 2 weeks of 2018 alone. That's how, people are doing this more and more. It's crazy, okay? These are teenagers, sometimes young adults, that are chomping down on these liquid-filled packets. So what happens? Laundry detergent pods or single-load laundry packets are full of various chemical compounds, such as surfactants, which are great at cleaning clothes but not great for your body. Unlike regular liquid detergent, which typically just causes mild stomach upset, pods contain a highly concentrated liquid inside, so that little packet can do a lot of damage. So, they can cause immediate irritation in the mouth and throat, vomiting. If you swallow the detergent pod, the chemicals can cause burns in the back of the mouth, down the esophagus. The detergent can also seriously irritate the lining of your stomach, cause gastrointestinal distress, diarrhea. Some of the chemicals can depress the central nervous system and cause drowsiness. Are you hungry yet for a Tide Pod? Maybe a little gravy or something, right? My goodness. Most people will inhale or gasp right after they break open the pod in their mouth or while the liquid is going down their throat. This is a problem. Some of the detergent enters the trachea and into the lungs. People can also cough and aspirate on their own vomit, which contains detergent, so it can be brought into the lungs. Once the detergent gets into the lungs, it can cause wheezing, coughing, and acute respiratory distress. So, the fact of the matter is, you should not do this. For those who wondered if they should or not, yeah, you shouldn't. It's there. That's the story. The end. Don't do it. Okay? So let's just move on from there. So, Tide Pods. It sounds like something when I was a kid that I'm sure I would have known somebody who did this back when I was a kid in school. So, I just saying. I'm just sure. So anyways, on to the next story we go. Great story. We talk a lot about drones and automation and robots and things like this. This is a fascinating story of the BBC in Australia. 2 teenage boys were rescued by a brand new life-saving drone in Australia while lifeguards were still training to use the device. Yes, a drone saved kids. The swimmers, aged 15 and 17, had gotten into difficulties off the coast of Lennox Head in New South Wales. Lifesavers instantly sent the drone to drop an inflatable rescue pod, and the pair made their way safely to shore. It took just a minute or two to launch the drone, fly to the rescue site, and drop the pod. Isn't that awesome? So when we're talking about drones, it's not always the drone can go and pick up a person, but it can bring them a flotation device to save them. This should be on every ship, every cruise ship, every boat, every beach. It should be everywhere. How easy is that? If you're on a big boat, how many times have they rescued people? You could just fly a flotation device to them. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Great story on how technology is now, able to, another way that they're able to save lives right there. So pretty cool. But last story that I have for you. This story is very, very cool as well. It's called The Painstaking Process Behind Those Wild World War I Naval Paint Jobs out of Atlas Obscura. It was very cool. You're going to want to go to themorningroutine.live and check out this article in its entirety. Check out all the pictures. I grabbed 2 photos just for us to look at while we're doing the article here. And they were camouflaging boats in World War I. The U.S. Navy was using what they called Dazzle paint. The idea for ships to be seen, but seen incorrectly. Since they can't hide it, at least make it look weird where they can't judge where the front and back is. If paint could be used to distort a ship's angles, the thinking went, that would make it difficult for the ship to be targeted efficiently by a submarine. Submarines were a killing machine in World War I. German submarines posed a devastating threat to the Allies. In the second half of April of that year alone, an average of 13 ships were sunk per day. Per day. Wow. British artist and Royal Navy volunteer Norman Wilkinson had the idea for Dazzle paint. Distracting lines might include patterns on the smokestacks to obscure what direction they were facing, or curved shapes along the hull to create impressions of a bow wave. Yes, because then when submarines were looking through their thing, they couldn't tell where the crucial part of the ship was to target a torpedo. You can see behind me, there's a picture of one of the paint jobs, very deceiving. This one is the craziest one ever. Yes, it looks like a harbor, but nothing in it. But behind there, these bow-shaped designs, that's actually the side of a ship. That's a boat parked right there. So if you were a submariner, you'd never be able to tell where to aim your torpedo because it's so deceiving on where the crucial part of the ship is. So very cool on a way to disguise the ships back in the day with some fancy paint. So if you're listening on the podcast, check out themorningroutine.live and you can see the pictures there, what we were just talking about. So on we go, my friends, to what's trending on Google. The top 10 most searched things yesterday on Google. Number 1, Robert Wagner. Number 2, Groundhog Day 2018. Number 3 is LeBron James. Number 4, Winchester. And looks like that's a movie, not the gun. So number 5, Sal Castro Middle School. Number 6, Devin Nunes. Number 7, Portia de Rossi. Number 8, cryptocurrency news. Number 9, Stan Lee. Number 10, AMZN, which is the Amazon stock price. Amazing. I heard a news story yesterday that is going to be, amazing, of a insurance. Amazon is teaming up with Berkshire and who was the other one? There's another one. I can't remember. But they're teaming up together to come out with a health insurance, which I was like, that's amazing. But I can't remember who the third one is. Anyways, on we go, guys, to what's trending on the news this morning. Top of the list, we have Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro's son has taken his own life. Sad story in every situation. Next, we have Stan Lee. Stan Lee, 95 years old, feeling great after return from an LA hospital. Then we have Rob Gronkowski. Gronkowski cleared to play in Super Bowl after that concussion that he had 2 weeks ago. Next, we have Michigan. He was approved for $360 per week in unemployed benefits, and he's a dog. That's amazing. Wow. Next, we have Amazon. Amazon posts largest profit in its history on sales. Tax boost. Amazon is growing. Next, we have Canada. Canada moves to make its national anthem gender neutral. Then we have Brenda Lawrence, Democratic Congresswoman caught playing Candy Crush during State of the Union. She needs to see the morning routine as of yesterday with iPhone addiction. Maybe I should send her a link. Next, we have Alphabet Inc. Alphabet's earnings miss profit estimates as spending grows. Alphabet, of course, is the mothership for Google. Then we have deferred action for childhood arrivals. Trump pressures Democrats to bargain on immigration. And that, my friends, is what's trending on the news today. On we go, guys. Let's jump into a passage of wisdom. Today's passage of wisdom. I don't know what to make of it. I saw it. I said, let's do this. And I still don't even know what to make of it. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can read into it. I would love to know what the original writer of it was thinking when he wrote it down. He was one of the wisest men in the history of the world when he wrote this down. But what really was he seeing or thinking about when he wrote this down? Today is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. So, I don't know where to go with that one. So I can tell you that in the produce world, I can think of something that compares to that, because in the produce world, produce, food, let's say potatoes or onions, they are stored up. So when they harvest them in August, September, and into October, they store them in barns, and then they ship them throughout the next 6-9 months sometimes. And they store them and they hold well in a cold, cold environment with the humidity just right and things like that. And as they're selling them out of the barns, a lot of times they will choose the best fields crop, the stuff that has the best quality, and they will save that to last because it will store through the whole season. Where the weaker lots, they ship first because they would never make it to the end of the season when they need them. So this kind of reminds me of that the wise store up choice food in olive oil, while fools may gulp theirs down, eating those first or using those first. So that's the comparison I hear. It also sounds like, dessert. When you're like sitting down with your kids at the dinner table and you're like, eat your dessert and then eat your dinner and then you get to have dessert. Dessert, I guess, would be the choice food. But the fools would gulp theirs down. But I don't understand what impact this has on our faith. That's where I don't get it, right? I guess maybe storing up treasures. That's maybe what it is, right? Instead of receiving immediate gratification and looking for things to satisfy ourselves right now, looking long term and knowing that we'll have great rewards in addition later on when we pass on to heaven. Maybe that's what this is. I don't know. So, great passage for us all to think about today and pray and ask, what does this mean for our individual lives? Very interesting. So let's pray, guys. Father, good morning. Father, thank you for this day, this Friday, February the 2nd, 2018. Father, I'm excited to get started with this day and the things that this day may have for us ahead, opportunities for us to be a blessing to somebody around us, to be an encouragement to somebody today, so a chance to think past ourselves on how we can better the world around us in even a small way, even a compliment to the cashier at the grocery store, just to make this world a better place today. Father, be with us today as we go through the day. Help us as we go through the day to ponder on what this passage of wisdom means. Give us guidance. How does this apply to our individual lives? How is it that we should store up the choice foods and oils and not be just gobbling it down? What does that mean for each of us as individuals? Help us today to get clarity on what that is. Protect us this weekend as we go into Super Bowl weekend, as there'll be many travels, people traveling out of town, gathering with groups of people. Keep us all safe and protect us so we can have a great time and then bring us home safely and move into next week. Father, we love you and we thank you. Amen. And that, my friends, is a magnificent wrap to another week of the morning routine. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And until Monday when we get to be together once again, don't you forget that the next 3 days are a great opportunity for you to be exactly who you are meant to be. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.